Good afternoon. I'm having a lovely afternoon. How about you? Oh, how about you?
We are doing great.
You're doing great. That's beautiful. Anyway, you're welcome to YDialogue. My name is Chelsea. I'm going to be the moderator or the host for this amazing dialogue. Of course, it's on the theme bridging the unemployment gap through digitization. How do we do that? That's the reason why we put together these amazing speakers. In due time, I will definitely let them introduce themselves, or I will introduce them for you. But I would love to get to know my audience. So I think I'm going to get one microphone going around where everybody gets the opportunity to introduce him or herself. I think that wouldn't be bad, right? I'm seeing some people from WhatsApp. Hello, WhatsApp 100. Yeah, my ladies are looking lovely. Where do we start from? Please, Atekum. Everybody is going to talk. I'm not going to be the one to sit here, talk plenty, you listen and you go away. I need to hear you talk. So please, introduce yourself.
It's Angelina.
Okay, thank you, Angelina.
Veronica.
Vero, beautiful.
Diana.
Beautiful, Dinah. Thanks for coming.
Seth.
Seth, nice.
I'm called Innocent.
Your name again?
Innocent.
Innocent. I hope you are very innocent. I just hope.
Cecilia.
Cecilia, Auntie Cici, I hope you're good.
My name is
No,
PM.
PM, please. You are not part.
I'm Can you pass the...
No, you are not part.
person. My name is PM. Thank you.
Denzel.
All right, darling. Thanks for coming.
I'm Kingsford.
Kingsford, thank you for coming.
Frederick.
All right. No, it's your phone. Maxwell. I mentioned your name, right? Okay.
I'm Maxwell.
All right.
I go by the name Nyamiche.
Oh, thanks for coming, Yamiche.
Godfred.
Godfrey. All right.
Samuel.
Samuel.
Kofi Annan.
Hey, Kofi Annan. Our very own Kofi Annan. Thanks for coming.
I'm Bernard.
Bernard, thanks for coming. All right. Oh, please. Go
Haruna.
ahead. Haruna Babangida.
Rambesia.
All right.
Joyce Lenampofo.
Okay. JJ.
And then Panford Samuel.
Your name again?
Panford.
Okay, Panford. Please put your hands together for yourselves. By the time we are done with this program, you need to give me three new people you met. The names of three new people that you met during this program. Okay? Yeah, it's a way of networking. You might never know. Maybe your next investor is the one seated next to you. The next person who will recommend you for a particular job is the one seated next to you. But whilst we're passing the microphone, I say, Enim Hono, I can't two be. No, I can't four. Yeah, they didn't introduce themselves. So two at the front, two at the back. Please kindly give the microphone to our gentleman looking all dapper.
My name is Akankish Chab.
Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Angel.
Angel?
Yeah, I'm a South African actress all the way from South Africa.
Oh, please put your hands together for Angel, all the way from South Africa. Debbie won't come.
Oh, okay.
Debbie won't come.
Thank you.
Yeah, pass the microphone.
My name is Parkwesi.
Parkwesi, thank you all for coming. Okay, so now next on the item is for us to have the opening address, and it's going to be done by our programs manager. He's in the person of Ajekum Jima.
Hello, everyone. Do I have to come there or I can sit
you
here?
have to come here.
Oh, okay. I have to come there?
Yeah, so that the cameras can capture you.
I don't really like attention that much, so.
If you see everything we do...
so I can sit and talk?
No, you can't sit, Ajekum.
Oh, let me sit and feel comfortable.
No.
Okay.
If you see everything we do, okay, our progress has been made possible by this gentleman. He's the major brain behind our success. And we are so proud of him.
Too much fun.
He's young and single.
Okay, good morning everyone, or good afternoon. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. This year YFM turned 10 years old. Most people don't know this. They thought YFM came about 2 or 3 years ago by Yenyini. This year, we are 10 years, and we'll be celebrating the 10 years anniversary with a lot of activities. So if you've been listening to our network, we've been doing various parties, we've been doing various giveaways and all of that. But for a very long time, I mean, YFM has been known as a station for the youth. Most of the time, we're out there doing parties for the youth. But, I mean, if you are doing parties for the youth, how are you empowering the youth as well? We claim to be a station for the youth. We claim to have all the youth under our wings as well. It is better if you carry them under your wings as well, and you tutor them by giving them mentors to look up to. So as part of our 10-year anniversary, we decided to do the YDialogues by bringing all of these wonderful people here to talk to young people in the Western region for them to see how they can also make it in Ghana. Now, if you listen to the commercial, if you watch the TVs, you realize that we are talking about digitization. These days, everything is digital. Even the government of Ghana is going digital with almost everything. So as a young person, we're all complaining about how difficult it is to get a job in the country. I mean, when PM is doing the drive of your life, and I'm sure you know PM, the one with the bandana, when he's doing drive of your life and he talks about issues pertaining to unemployment, you have a lot of young people calling in and voicing out their frustration. So today, this is something for me personally. Often. So personally, like I said, and the rest of my team, this is something that is dear to our heart. And once again, I'd like to say thank you very much for coming and sharing in this as well. Thank you very much.
Hello? We call him Skinny, so feel free to call him Skinny instead of Ajekum Jima. I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors for the special program. I would like to say thank you going out to Chambers Market, IT Guardian, Sadaka Rentals, Simpson Safety Consult, and then Bra Coleman Studios. Moving to the next item on this particular program, as I acknowledge some of our sponsors, some of them are here, and I really want them to come and then tell us what or reasons why they decide to actually sponsor this YDialogue. This is the first or the maiden edition of YDialogue. So with a round of applause, let's welcome Bernard from Chambers Market.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. Actually, I'm here to represent the Chambers Market, and it's an e-commerce platform. The Secondary Takoradi Chamber of Commerce made it possible with the support of the Hamburg Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. So the Chambers Market is actually in two phases. We have the marketplace and the directory. The directory is you putting up a business, no matter how small the business is. We are saying put it on board, let a lot of people have a look at how your business look like. We have all your information there, where your shop is. We will come to verify whether you have the shop or you don't have it. So however your business looks like, we are saying just put it on our platform for people to see. They can contact you directly from the platform. Let's say I'm looking for where to get a local broom to buy. I can go on the platform, I'll check the businesses to see where this particular shop, I'll get a local broom to buy. So I can contact you directly, or we have the GPS integration, whereby I can follow the location straight to your shop and do whatever I want to do with you. And we also have the marketplace, whereby you can buy and sell. You can upload a product you want to sell, and you can also buy from the platform. It's Chambers Market. It's on both the iOS and also on Google Play. So you can just download and have a feel of it. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you very much, Bernard. Thanks for supporting us. Now, when we say why dialogues, all you need to say is inspiring leadership. Why dialogues? Why dialogues? Why dialogues? Thank you very much. Now, whilst digital technologies are spreading rapidly, you and I know that there seems to be this mismatch, in desired digital skills. We all did computing in school, but when it comes to practicing it, you take people to the job field and they are found wanting. We have people graduating with first class in, let's say, IT. Take them to the job field and they are found wanting. That is the reason why we have a lot of unemployed youth in this country. And the way to bridge it is to have this amazing conversation. So, without wasting much time, I would like to introduce the amazing people we have seated here. They're all looking lovely. Yeah. I'm going to start off with Ellie Daniel Wilson. He's the group head of digital media and innovations at Global Media Alliance, and he's also the team lead of Ghana's first influencer marketing platform, Wupro. Go to the Google Play Store. You have to download it. Everybody will download it before you leave here. He is a digital media professional whose expertise include developing and executing digital media strategies for brands from diverse industries, digital transformation leadership, developing content strategies, training and driving business growth through digital means. And in January last year, he was awarded a BBC Media Leader Training Award for work done with YFM Ghana. And also, just this year, recently, Wupro also bagged an honorary award for industry innovations in influencer marketing at the Pulse Influencer Award just this year. With a round of applause, I present to you Ellie. Ellie, please say hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to a very fruitful discussion.
My next speaker is a she. Yeah, we are balancing the equation. She is very passionate and she's a goal chaser. She's an entrepreneur and president of Allied RX Institute of Healthcare. She has engaged in various communities, helping local communities and countries in Virginia reach their goal of increasing employment in the health sector. She has had partnership with the U.S. Department of Labor Workforce Initiatives and has opened up new opportunities for career seekers navigating the pandemic and way forward with utilization of digital technology to enhance the job seekers' experience with job seeking. In addition to her passion for operating a successful vocational training school, she also is known in the real estate industry that started in Accra, Ghana, and has expanded way to Virginia. She has 12 years of contracts negotiations, employment, digital advertising, and tool to fill unemployment gap, job skill training, and job placement by establishing partnership with organizations from a broad range of sectors for training and certification purpose for job seekers. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Shanta Henderson. I call her Shay.
Shay.
Yes.
Shay.
Say welcome to Ghana.
Welcome back. Thank you, Chelsea. It's a pleasure.
It's good having you here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being back.
My next speaker will blow your mind. You've heard from him several times. He's Mr. Versatile. Put him everywhere, anywhere, he will succeed. He's an award-winning rapper, songwriter, composer. And in the past 15 years of his career, he's got like 5 albums to his credit. He has 11 national and international awards, including 5 VGMA awards and over 30 music award nominations. Do I need to go on? His passion for music extends to advocacy for music training and growing more professional musicians, which led to the formation of the Matic Music Club, a program that has served a host a program that has served as a host program for the Global Leadership or Leaders Program and hosted many international and local music professionals. Also, an agric businessman, I like that part, and a co-partner of Coaba Rice, a local rice brand right here in Ghana. He's almost like a Takadi boy because almost every now and then He's here. He is also a member of the Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, only to mention but a few. He is actively a member of the Alliance for Change in Ghana Music and currently the Folklore Ambassador of Ghana, an active member of the National Folklore Club, and has led many change-driven conversations through his program called Music Speak. He's the CEO of Matrix Multimedia and Be Wired. His name is Trick to the Matic. Trick Matic. And finally,
Yeah, thank you, Chelsea.
thank you very much, Trick, for coming all the way down.
Thank you.
Though I know I hadn't heard it.
That's it.
It's an honor to introduce my boss. We've hustled together. We've cried together. His name is Ralph Mens. He's a multimedia technologist, a tech enthusiast, and an engineer with a strong flair for design. He has been the central brain behind several broadcast media in Ghana, with over 20 years of management position. He started the first private radio station in the Western region and managed the first DVB TV station in Ghana. His production company, AdFocus, of course, is a company that provides top-notch quality multimedia solution mainly to the extractive industries. He has mentored and continued to assist young ones trying to venture into entrepreneurship. He is the CEO of Nasika, a money management platform that has won several awards. And currently, they are in a program going to Rwanda. And I will be here. Ralph, thank you very much for coming. He's a man of few words. One is some rainy baby, but so I shy be like that. See, you're funny, sir. Now, if you have any question that you would love to ask our audience here or our panel members here, please feel free. You can write them down, okay? At the right time, I will let you ask them any question on your mind. But for now, I have put together some few questions that I need us to dialogue over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to YDialogues. So my very first question, I don't know who it will go to, but any of you can start. Research affirms that the effect of digitization on unemployment is greater in controlled and emerging digitized economies, but relatively low in Africa. I really want to know your take on this research. I'm going to start with Trick.
Yeah, Chelsea. Well, I think that the research results is not too far from the truth. I mean, of course, if it takes you maybe close to about a minute or two for you to buffer something you want to watch based on internet connectivity, it wouldn't be an easy task, or it's not an easy task. Some of the factors that contribute to that is also cost involved in facilities that aid smooth internet running. And you know, the digital space is one that runs solely on the internet. And so these factors are so true. Also, we live in a system where traditional ways of working have become a part of us for a long time. Even at the time, I remember we had to do an entire 2 or 3 year sensitization before moving from traditional like television to digital. It was a constant promotion on that. You know, within that 3 years, other countries had hopped, you know, and we had to, because we were so used to our ways. And currently, even now, certain companies are still struggling with this whole digital migration thing. So obviously, the stats are clear that Africa wouldn't, you wouldn't see the difference as much as you see in developed countries where, of course, I remember there was a time I walked into a bank, which I've always been used to in somewhere in London, in Barking. And when I went there one time, there was no one there, but they had booths and everything. And I was like, so how do I trade? Charlie, I was so confused. I called my cousin and said, but you two, you be colo. just check on the platform. It will show you if you want to deposit or whatever, you can do it. And I didn't know that. The same thing happened to me the first time I saw the ATM machine that takes the deposit. You know, it was a big struggle, you understand. So obviously at that time, whoever used to sit as a bank teller in that bank would have probably been moved away from there, and then the robots are taking over and doing that job. So yeah, these factors contribute to the results.
All right, Shay, can I hear your take on this particular question?
Can you hear me? Okay,
yeah, I
that's
can
a lot
hear
better.
you.
My take on it from the outside looking in, I grew up predominantly in the United States and then migrated over into Ghana, Accra, back in 2006, early 2006. I see there's some things and there's some challenges that Ghana is facing. Unlike, our other countries and things like that, we see the progression and where they're going. And I see the future for Ghana, that it can happen for us, but we have to take the small steps in order to make those things happen. In different sectors, as far as education, just as he was speaking about his incident about going into the bank and not being able to be, properly serviced and things of that nature, and new things as far as the ATM machine. So I think by integration of technology and having more of a push on that and connecting more with the technology sectors, industries, organizations, and companies to help kind of bridge that gap, because that's a starting point. Without that starting point, it's going to be hard to integrate that into all the different many facets that you do have in Ghana, not just from entertainment to education, healthcare, banking. It's all connected together. So I do think that there is a great opportunity here for that. And starting with the youth, it's hard to how can I explain it? Make changes, and I know this very well from my understanding being overseas in the US, is that it's harder to change the older generation. Sometimes the older generation are set in their ways. They're used to doing things the way that they're used to. But with the youth, you can see that progression. If we integrate this and start taking those steps now, what will Ghana look like 10, 15 to 20 years from now if we start now? So that could be slowly introducing, technology into primary schools, secondary schools, and things of that nature, giving them the opportunity to have access to a wide range of things. So there's many other things I could speak on, but I don't want to take the floor. So
no, definitely. I know Ellie has a lot to say with regards to this one.
Hi. So I would want to take you from a point of generally the African behavior towards adoption of new technologies. Outside the fact that infrastructure is clearly a constraint in trying to get access to internet, even electricity, let's even go to the basics. It's a challenge. And now let's talk about those who actually do have access to the internet and electricity, how they quickly adopt to new technologies and all the capabilities digital presents to us. I'm saying this because even as a new product, WoPro, it would make sense on paper that this is a tool that should make life easy, and therefore if you're on the market, people should be jumping at it, brands should be jumping at it, people who use social media should see that this is value and I should get at it. It doesn't translate like how we predicted, because they want to take their sweet time to try something new. And this is why Africa is mostly behind, because we would wait and wait till the whole world has adopted to it before we would come and take the bottom barrel of it. And then I would also want to add that if you look at it critically, it comes from how we even grew up. And I was telling Ralph and Shanta earlier that if you ask any young person what are their aspirations in life, they would, in terms of career, they would most likely mention white-collar jobs of, a doctor, a lawyer, and they wouldn't mention anything like an AI developer or a data analyst.
We haven't seen any AI developer. I have not seen them. I've seen a lawyer. If I go to the hospital, yes, I can see a doctor. Yes. I can see a nurse in her green attire. Yes. So these are the things, obviously, right, they hardly mention teachers. Yes.
Chelsea, you're right. And that's the problem, where in our educational system, it doesn't condition our minds to even look beyond what we see. We should get to a point where we can explore, which is what internet does for us. It makes us global. You can go beyond what you see with your eyes. So the aspiration needs to change. What is possible needs to change in the minds of young people. So I personally have a problem with our educational curriculum. I think it is outdated. I think it's not preparing people for the job of the future.
I'll definitely come on that.
So
But
that's my take on why we are behind.
Okay. Ralph, can you please tell us why we are behind on this? Okay, say Adam.
I got to get used to getting the microphone close to my face. But so just to add on to what he was saying, you know, things as far as like inadequate curriculum and things like that, more focus on STEM products and things like that. Ghana has the potential. You can develop your own Silicon Valley. Why should we have to depend on China or the US for them to lay the bricks down?
Okay.
There's a country full of intelligent people here, but we just have to create that infrastructure and just taking that small step. So even if it's just slowly introducing something like coding, or you know, giving a spark to the minds of the youth that, hey, you know, things that you should aspire for. But there's also other people that are needed. You know, doctors can't just run the country. Lawyers can't just run the country. It takes the people to run the country, and they have to be skilled in different trades, vocational training, and skill sets.
Thank you very much, Shay. Ralph?
To add up to what Drake and Ellie said, and I think you also mentioned about integration, right? Yes, and then Ellie mentioned about mindset. I think the foundation to all these has to do with, at the top level, what are the policy frameworks of African countries putting in place to accelerate the growth of digitization in all aspects of our lives as Africans. I can see Ghana championing the cause with some of its projects, but if you look at the pace and how it is handled, sometimes it's a bit funny. It takes, like what Frank said, it took 3 years for us to move when the whole deadline for digitization of TV had ended already. And Ghana, we were now starting when it had ended. It was funny. Those of us who are in the space, you know it. We laughed about it. Yeah, but if I talk about policy frameworks, it means that what are the people in charge of affairs making sure that we are ready to take up some of these skills and also impact the next generation and to turn around what and the way we do things. It's going to be a way of life going forward that you can know anything, but having the digital mindset is going to be a constant. That without that, anything else you know is nothing. It's like nowadays, if you don't have masters, it's like you've not gone to school. Yes, one day it is going to be a thing that you're a doctor, you should know how to maybe write a small program in something. You can be a carpenter, you should be able to push something out there digitally. And I foresee that happening very soon. So if you're a young person out there and you are not preparing yourself towards this goal, it's going to be a thing. Although I might mention that leaders should take the helm of affairs to make sure that these things happen. Sometimes the mindset of these leaders are so old. They don't even hire new brains to help us move faster. So the rate of acceleration is almost non-existent. They talk about it, they use it for whatever they want to use it for, but at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. That's it.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Let me quickly move on to my next question. Yes, we are talking about digitization. Studies have also proven that digitization of the economy has serious consequences for job creation. So imagine, like you said, you eco bank, na teller ni ho, machine no ho, or teller no way in edi, teller no so oshe, ebusuafo or your breadwinner when you fee. Another be a eco hospital. We actually oh don't talk to a doctor. Chat on a bot. Now we hear about maybe was the prescription no was best sent through mail. Don't you think that can really, hurt the youth in terms of employment?
Well, to answer that, I mean, on a lighter note, I would say that we're lucky to be in Ghana, so we can buy us some time, before we fully get to that space. That's on the lighter note. But COVID taught us that anything can happen. We don't know what is coming next. It could be another virus, that because COVID became a very huge catalyst. We thought that this whole thing about digital migration would have taken a slower pace, but it forced us to move quickly. Banks immediately had to set up digital teams. Other than that, companies who were fully operating digitally would have been relegated to the back. But currently, as we speak, these are the ones who are making a big stride. So yes, it's true, it's going to hurt people, but it's the inevitable. We can't help it. We're in a very exponential world. Like I was saying again, back then, I was surprised that I had to take a bus and there was no bus conductor, and then I had to, when you get to your destination, you press something that's by a rod, and then the driver knows that you're going to drop off here, and then the bus parks there. And those things used to amaze me. Now I understand that all along, that was technology. And I think the way we've described technology, we've made it look like a monster, but we should know that anything that makes things more efficient, accessible, that is technology. So if soon, now there are bicycles that also serve as treadmills at the same time. So it's going to move on and on and on and on. There's no excuse. There's really no excuse to say that. And this is not, the business world is not about emotions, So the person who is doing the checks is not thinking about how you are going to feel or the number of mouths you're going to feed. Think about it. What about the employer? The COVID taught us that we didn't need our offices in the first place. So if you built or you were hiring, you were renting a space and you were paying the thousands of dollars back then, the employer realized that, oh, so my workers could have worked from their homes and we would have even made more, I would have saved more. So now a lot of people left their offices. Go and check most of the offices in East Legon and Co. People left because they realized that, we could have worked from our bedrooms and still, make things happen. So there's no excuse and there's no time really. The people on the job market are moving fast. So us who won the jobs have to be able to catch up. Because very soon, if when Who Pro becomes as huge as any other one in the world, which I know it will, he's here singing the Who Pro song. And we're probably taking a longer time to pay attention to it. Now, by the time China, Europe, and now with the way we are globalized, we say, in Africa, we always say the world is a global village when it comes to gossip, when it comes to sharing nudes and, sharing materials that really don't matter. But we don't realize that the world is equally a global space when it comes to things like job market trends. People are getting employed by just having to put their profile on LinkedIn and they being picked, and people are getting contracts via the internet, and people are also advancing on the same platform that we use negatively. So there's really no excuse. Charlie, the lady at the bank at the time, now, those of us who do jobs that uses computing, 1 + 1 is 2. You're the ones that should get ready by now. Because very soon, you can't calculate as fast as the robot would. So for people like that, or people who put wires, red wire and blue wire together, this is like things that you can just look and do or make happen. Maybe the carpenters can be spared a bit, the storytellers, the musicians, some of us can be spared a bit. But with the way it's going, like even with music now, people are reducing band sizes, you know, to 2 and 3 because now there are gadgets that can capture everything and play all shows for you. And of course, if I'm a promoter, I'll go for that artist who has the less number, so I wouldn't have to pay the entire band. The travel cost will be reduced, the hotel cost will be reduced. So let's also bear in mind the plight of the employer and not just look at, if Nastica has to employ, imagine Nastica has to employ so many people in an office just to check the account of each and every customer on the platform, or who Pro has to find relationship managers for every company that's on there. That can't happen. But with just a platform or with a few computers, they're able to check, oh, you put in this today, and you also have your dashboard and you can be able to monitor. So it's really up to us to self-train and also get interested in some of these matters. Me, as an employer now, when I was an employee, I was feeling it. That, oh, but as an employer now, I had to reduce my guys from 7 to 4. So now instead of paying 7,000 a month, it will bring me to maybe 4,000 or 5,000. That saves me money.
So it benefits the employer. Anyway, as Treg mentioned, Ralph, you've digitized Susu. Initially, Susu from walk around in we're 20 in this area. Now you said that save at the comfort of your home. Don't you think that you are also increasing the rate of unemployment? And how do we enhance the good side of digitization and prepare ourselves for the bad side?
I hear this statement a lot. People say that, oh, when we push too much into digitization, some people might lose their jobs in terms of, for instance, we're not hiring people to physically go around and collect people's deposits. They're also forgetting that we are hiring people to also develop the platform. So we might lose some jobs, but we're also creating new jobs. So this is where it comes in as a perfect timing for a young person, that it's about time you look at your aspirations carefully in terms of choosing careers and able to decide that, look, it's about time. I thought I could do this. There's a new normal. How do I tap in and make sure that I can cash in? So, for instance, earlier on, like Ellie mentioned, we were discussing about, and he asked me this question: do we have the talent in Ghana? It's yes and no. Because those who know, regards to like the talents that can develop such systems for people to use. Because for us, we struggled in trying to get the right kind of tech people to help us develop our platform. And you can ask anybody else who has been in the tech space for a while now. Every one of us struggles until we eventually find one or two who might like your solution and they will join you. Or better still, go to India or China and get some people there to build your platform for you. And it's true. It's happening all the time. Because when we need the right skill sets of people to hire on to take on some of these jobs, it's almost non-existent. I can post it in several WhatsApp groups. Those of us who are here in Takrady, you might have seen it, that we want people somewhere just within Takrady, because so that we can stay in touch and put you in a house. Just work. Because for us at Nastica, I have 4 developers. For the last 8 months, I've not seen any one of them. Just imagine. So sometimes people feel like, so you are at Nastica and Takrady, and they ask this question: where are your team members? I've never seen them. I have 1 in Takwa, 1 in Kumasi, 3 in Accra, 1 in Asia, and 2 of us are in Takrady. And the solution is here in Takrady. So just imagine the kind of opportunity we have created, that you don't need physically to be available within the geographical area of the solution where the main office is. So imagine, it answers your question that jobs will be created, but do we have the right skill sets who can take up these jobs? That's the question.
All right. Say, you've been nodding your head all this while.
Yes, yes. So this
What's on your
comes
heart?
back to education. So how do we get our people in Ghana to the point where we don't have to look outside of Ghana for these skill sets and technology and things like that? So I know I had mentioned STEM, right? You're starting early with the primary schools when kids are young. Start, introducing them into those types of programs. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So teaching them about how to build robotics and things like that. Things that kind of will pick their curiosity into wanting to see, I kind of like this, maybe I want to dive deeper into this and learn more about that, That's a great starting place. But when it comes to the youth that are already there, getting ready to get out of high school, they're trying to figure out, am I going into the university? Do I want to be a doctor or a lawyer? There's other skill sets that you can do. Now, me being, not saying an outsider, looking on in the inside, I know that there are some technology, vocational places there. There's not many here in Ghana that I'm aware of, but it does take that step, and then other organizations and even my institution, we are looking to set up here in Takoradi and possibly Accra to open up some skill sets for those not just in the healthcare industry, but we also want to expand on other trade sets, and things. So I feel like a lot of employers, especially those that are global, that are here in Ghana, national companies, those that are, really heavily invested into the economic of the country, are looking for individuals that do have that mindset, that has that education, that background. They might not necessarily be looking for someone with a master's degree or a bachelor's degree. They're looking for someone who can do the job. Can you do this job? And how can you get the skills to do this job? Certification. There's a lot of different certifications that you can do, especially in the technology sector. There's so many, I can't even name them all, but it takes that, step with the youth to look outside of the box, outside of the normal, this is what my parents expect of me, or expectations and the old traditional ways. Now it's time for you guys to think and be free thinkers, to think outside the box. You don't necessarily have to be a doctor to own a healthcare facility. You hire people who have the certifications and the skill sets. So you have to think beyond that. There's so many opportunities for you. So, but just to circle it back, you have to really, think about that. That's something to really consider.
Ellie, my next question is coming to you. Yeah, you guys, she mentioned STEM. More school na maths na menya the science class they be on the mugwan. Nyamia doma na mutum SS university man kobi. But you were here mentioning STEM, certification, maybe I'm na moye some as a PMB and I'm koye through be an adebia mason job be. Does it mean I'm a mankawa?
Thank you, Chelsea. So before I answer your question, I just wanted to state that change is inevitable, right? I'm sure once upon a time, the person who sells Bobo Kania, when they introduced electricity, they felt like they were taking their job away. So electricity companies came up, and today renewable energy is also coming for electrical jobs. So it's inevitable. You can try to fight it, but you won't win. Long term, you would lose. So yes, you do not need formal education to win in the current digital economy. One, because all we need is the skill set, somebody who can deliver on the job. And the beautiful part about it, which again, I think people do not know, it's you can get this education. If you have internet on your phone right now, all you need is internet. Google is offering a lot of free courses. IBM is offering a lot of free courses. All this, Facebook has Blueprints, which is an academy. You can learn everything you want to learn about social media for free. And in my team, even when I'm recruiting, I never lead with your qualifications. I want to see some of these, your capacity to learn on your own. That thing really impresses me, that perhaps after national service you didn't have a job, but during that period, you picked up a skill in design thinking, you picked up a skill in basic AI. I'm more likely to employ somebody like that or give somebody like that a chance ahead of somebody who has formal education and it's been 2 years, you haven't added up to whatever you learned in class. It's because in the digital economy, it's quite unforgiving. We are competing in the global world where what we've built as WhoPro, for instance, somebody can build the same thing in SA, in Nigeria, and compete with us here in Ghana. Barriers are broken because of digital. So we can't be here and be sentimental about it. People are going to lose their jobs. I dream of a day where we have Facebook in Ghana. We have a company of the magnitude of Facebook. And I dream of that day because that would mean employment. That would mean huge taxes for the government. That would mean development. That would mean money staying in Ghana. That would mean a company born in Ghana is employing people in the US. It's possible. But we need people who can dream and have that vision to make it possible. So what I really want to say is, today, if you have access to internet, you can get master's level education for free. MIT is offering openware courses. Literally, it's the same thing you learn in class. YouTube, people go there to watch music videos. I go there to watch, there's this series on Stanford that is called View from the Top. I don't think there's ever been a time where you can have access to great minds in the world like now. I get to have that in the comfort of my living room. I don't have to pay $50,000 to go to Stanford. So if you have access to internet today, believe me, you can compete with anybody in the world. But are you ready?
Hello? The big question is, what phone are you using? Internet net on? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook, Snapchat, and our TikTok? I always say that internet now. Oh no, it's not bad. Either you are a consumer or a content creator. So in as much as you are clicking several times to watch it, somebody else is making money. The decision is all in your hands. A co-schoolo and co-schoolo, a blame parents. Now internet is available. So go and then get the right skill. Like he said, for Freneden, courses in Bebre. Courses in the Bebre. Opportunities, job opportunities in so Bebre. Ebia waha, etonyom, able to my commercial. I think Trig will touch on that. Let's look at the talent that we have and how they can digitize some of the things that they do in terms of content creation.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the best time to be alive. If you're a content creator, whether a musician or filmmaker, this is the best time. Our time, I remember the first time I wanted my music to be heard. I went to, they had just opened Yegola nightclub, you know, and I was underage, so I couldn't go into the club, so I had to stay outside till it was like 3 a.m. And guess what I was doing? I was waiting for Bolare, because I heard Bolare was inside the club, and he would come out around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. He came out, I handed him my CD, and you know, he said he would listen. I never heard the song again. You know, and I chased a few other people like that. Now we're in an era where I don't need a middleman any longer. I can go on a platform, I can put it on Dito Music, and then they'll put it on their Audio Max and stuff, and then the TikTok and stuff, and the whole world hears it. I mean, Jackie and Co has, you know, taught us that they can beat the traditional media style and make it out there for it to sink back into traditional media. So really, like I said, there's really no excuse. If you want to grow yourself, like Ellie said, I equally go on YouTube to learn so many things, even notes, even how to just sing my notes. I download apps. You know, there are apps to check your keys. If you just want to be a vocalist and nothing else, I download the app, I look at what it does. And I was just telling Ellie that I won't be surprised that in the next 2 years, Episode will be one of the biggest artists. And I say that not because of just his talent. We met at the Ojira Festival, and he came into my room and he had all these gadgets. And he had numerous of them, different samplers. And he knows how to use them in depth. And he told me, Trick, I'm not going to outdoor this part of me now until I mastered it. And guess where he learned it from? YouTube. You know, YouTube. He introduced me to a few other musicians that I had never heard of. And these people play world tours with just a gadget. You know, there are people who play the guitar on their iPhone, you know, and they perform to millions of people. And they just play the guitar. They literally play the digital guitar on their iPhone. There's a guy who connects about 16 iPhones at the same time, playing different instruments on each iPhone at the same time. The latest video, there's a video that's going to come out, myself and Kwabena. Kwabena shot his in France with the iPhone 12, and I shot mine in South Africa with the iPhone 12, and we shot in 4K. We had all the ratios correctly done and everything, and the video is done. You know, so right now, there's really no excuse. Whether you are in a certain market or you're in a different market. I mean, Be Wired is a completely tech company. I don't do tech. I don't understand how it works. But like I was telling a friend, because there's no excuse if you cannot get the guys, if you can't operate the robot, buy the robot. You know, so I created a team and they will work on that. And at the end of the day, I'm an investor in that sector. You know, and it's as simple as that. Some of you have friends. You can just call them up. You don't need to necessarily understand how it works. Call them up. Tell them, this is the idea I have. We are 4, we are 5. You know how to code. You know how to code. I'm a good marketer. Let's start a company. Let's do this. Let's push it. Let's solve this problem. Then you are moving forward from there. Because everything, like every one of us here is wearing an idea. Is eating an idea, is drinking an idea, you know, the hair you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing, is somebody's work, you know, so what are you also giving up for somebody to buy? Okay. Yeah, so, yeah.
Ralph, Trick kept mentioning you can put people together, okay? We are in a country where we don't like partnership. Everybody wants to be a CEO. They wanted CEO attached to their name. Do you see it as a problem or not?
Before I answer your question, I have a testimony to add up to what Trick mentioned about using iPhones for some production work. I've mentioned this a couple of times to some few video production guys, and they were surprised because I think somewhere in 2019, I had a job with Talo Ghana, to do a production for them on some of projects they have undertaken in 4 regions. So I had to make a decision as to how I was going to travel 4 regions alone and capture them, do interviews, both photography and video at the same time. So I made a plan, and I decided to travel light. I also decided that I will not drive. I also decided I was going to enjoy the trip because I was going to 4 regions. So I wanted to go like a tourist, enjoy the view, and just walk around and come back whilst enjoying doing the work. So my decision of equipment, I decided that I was going to use an iPhone to do a whole production work for a major production company. I'm sure when Talo hear this, they'll say, hey, so this is what you did. Yes, and it's true. Yes, I used an iPhone 8 at that time, yes. And I got a few items attached. People don't know this, but there are lenses for iPhones. Yes, I had 2 of them. I got a special tripod adapter, and I bought a gimbal that I can use for it. Yes, so my trip to the 4 regions was just a backpack. That was it. I had 1 jeans, 3 t-shirts, and that was it. The rest were my camera stuff. I had a DSLR with me, which I was using for the photos. But when it came for the videos, I used the iPhone. If I play the video here, any of these screens, and I do not tell you that I shot it on an iPhone, you will never believe it. it's all about the knowledge. You push yourself to the limit that you want to be able to achieve something. And I delivered. 4 regions, they had the Western region, there were a lot of places I went, Central, Ashanti, and then Greater Accra. So just imagine, for a period of about a week, I was traveling all around these places, doing basic work. So anytime I got there and I removed my stuff and I put it on the tripod and I was about to shoot, so now the phone I buy. You see how the mindset is. Because we are used to the old things, thinking that, I remember at a point when we even go to, we are hired to do jobs and we go with DSLR to shoot. Say, you didn't come with a camera like the GTV one. Yes, because it was assumed that when GTV they come, they have this camera on their shoulders. There's somebody holding the microphone, there's somebody with the lights. But in our case now, 1,000, you can do virtually almost everything. Yes, and I do that now. We'll come to content later, but to add up to answer your question, I even forgot to do it. Okay, working together in terms of partnership.
Partnership.
Yes. It is a difficult subject if you are talking to especially Ghanaians about it. I'll tell you, I don't know of the other countries, but I think we as Ghanaians, we don't like to work together. We even compete when we are even friends. I don't get it. But the point is that one person... no. Look, Facebook, people think that Mark is CEO. Do you know the shares of Mark? It's less than 50%. Yes, it's 40 something, right? 14. You see? But they have money. And we think that it is about titles. No. Yes, because the point is that there's a whole education that some of us need to have about what makes you an owner of a business, or the kind of partnership kind of arrangement that needs, because people don't know, so they think that, oh, I started it, so it's mine. No.
Them, because where was your for no when him there shoe business and I want to no start it. Oh my oh papa bia nim there no start it.
Yes, it is true.
And Odru baby no one would know.
It is true because right. I won't even let you learn. It is true because it is a mindset. And that is what we have to change. Because how about those who buy shares in companies? I'm sure some of us bought shares in MTN. Does it mean that you own MTN? I mean, think about it. Do you get it? People bought shares in Unilever those days. Now is what? Is it still Unilever? Yes. Okay. I remember my father, every year, he's going for meetings here and there. Liver Brothers, yes. You see. But at the end of the day, there's that concept of knowing how ownership of businesses is. If you don't know this, you'll be, I mean, how do you call it? You would feel like, oh, whatever you know that, like what you are saying, your mother or your family know that the business is yours, so you think it's a thing. How about you own 100% and you're making zero income? Yeah. That's the point. But imagine that if... that's what I'm saying. Titles don't work. Look, in my early days when I was starting up, I was telling this story to somebody that I was so young that anytime I was introduced at events that, oh, he's a manager of this, people look at you, this small boy. They just give up. So I decided that I won't go for public events. All that I do is either phone calls or write letters. So when I'm invited to make physical appearance, because my stature alone was enough to deter people from even listening to me, because it's, this small boy is the manager of this company. I stopped until a particular time when it became very necessary that I need to show my face. So it doesn't really matter that for you to be called a CEO, a CTO, or whatever O's that you want to have. And frankly speaking, that word, O, in all those titles have been overused. Yeah. Because if you call yourself a CEO means that you should have other officers. I don't know if you understand. If you are a chief executive officer, they mean that there are other officers that you are chief over. So if you don't have CTO or CFO or CMO, then why do you even call yourself CEO? Call yourself manager and be free and stop the titles. At the end of the day, titles don't bring money. It's your deeds.
All right, Shay.
Yes, so I definitely want to speak on this. So the issue that you're speaking on actually encompasses outside of Ghana. I'm seeing it even in my own local town, Virginia, and also throughout the United States. I think that, of course, the digital age, social media, people are more focused on the outward appearance of how they would look to society versus what benefit can you give to society. When I started my school, I took the choice to not be the face of the business because it was not about me. It was about the endeavor and the effort that I was putting into and the purpose that I wanted to empower young people, individuals, students, and even those who are looking for career changes. We deal with students from the age of 18 all the way up into their 70s. I mean, there's never any time to stop learning. But I never made it about myself. And I noticed that a lot of my peers that were also entrepreneurs, they made their businesses and things about themselves. That didn't work out too great, but more power to you. But the best thing to do is, if you have a purpose and mission, focus on that. That is all you need to focus on. Don't worry about titles or how people are going to view you or perceive you. You could be the CEO of nothing. You can be the president of absolutely nothing. And if that makes you happy, that makes you happy. But what's more fulfilling is the purpose, your driven purpose, and the mission that you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to help people, if you're trying to empower people, educate people. So yeah, I do agree with him as well about that.
Please go ahead.
Hello? Yes, I just want to add to this. I think we need to be more curious. We need to ask more questions, especially as young people who are starting out. About partnership and ownership. Maybe it's a home 24/7. Maybe that's what's making people go for titles. 24/7. But if you're looking at building value, if you have a big vision of building something really huge, I would just want to maybe make you more curious that Zuckerberg right now runs a multi-trillion company and he owns 14%. You should be curious enough to ask, how is that possible? He's still a billionaire. Bill Gates, as we've always known him as the richest man in the world, currently owns 0 shares in Microsoft. How is that possible? These are the questions we should be asking. We shouldn't be obsessed about the idea of ownership needs to change. Equity is ownership. You don't need to own 100% to be an owner. You can own 10%, 10%, 10% in multiple and different things, and that would be your 100%, which is even a more safer portfolio to have. People need to have a different mindset of what ownership really means. So that's what I wanted to add.
All right, so more skill. My skill ni dem pamadi. Na me tum menya phone, smartphone. Me take pictures. What's my phone to social media? I will get a market. But that to social media, but still market number. What do I do as an entrepreneur? Because we have a lot of Facebookpreneurs in Ghana. Their office is on Facebook and there are CEOs over there. How do I maximize my presence on social media?
Okay. Thank you for this question. And I think this is where usually I like to speak on. And before I even get into that, I also want to say, as young people, we need to get comfortable failing, and we need to fail faster. A lot of advice, I've realized, I've dabbled in entrepreneurship before. I started selling coconuts after NSS. I wanted to do something, and I felt the way coconut is being sold in Ghana right now, it can be repackaged, it can be reimagined into a more presentable product. So I dabbled into entrepreneurship. Needless to say, it failed terribly. But the lessons I learned from that is probably going to help me in my 30s when I start my fifth company, and I'll make less mistakes. So I just want to advise that people should make, it sounds silly, but start something, make mistakes, fail and fail faster and learn from it. You stand a better chance than even reading about it. When you do it and you fail, the lesson sticks longer than reading about it. And then back to social media. So yes, everybody will tell you social media is the thing now. You can easily sell your business there, and those are all true. Internet penetration in Ghana now, when I started my career, was around 7 million. As we're speaking, it's more than 15 million. That tells you the population, the netizens, as we call them, the Ghanaians who have access to internet is increasing, and it's increasing at an exponential rate. That means your customers, people you could have reached online, are also doubling by the day. So for you to have a business and not put it on social media, you're losing out on millions of people who could be interested in your product. And to get it right on social media, you need to have some basics done. And again, learn about simple branding of products. Don't just get on there and take pictures from the internet and think people would be interested. We are all on social media. We don't engage with content that is not nice, to simply put it. We don't engage with content that we don't find funny, that we don't find informative. We just ignore it and we scroll. So put yourself in the shoes of your customers. What would they want to see when they follow you on social media? You run a business, say you sell clothes, for instance. You sell it and you've opened an Instagram page. Yes, how nice you present those, how clean the images of the clothes would trigger me to even ask how much it is. So you need to put effort into making sure the content you put out there is really good. And then that is where I also tell you that it is not, you don't need, like Ralph said, you don't need a DSLR camera or a red camera to do an awesome, you don't need that. Even with your mobile phone with good lighting, things you can learn on YouTube, you can do a very, very good picture and put it out there. There are apps like Canva. Canva is very popular. If you use Canva, you can do magic. You can literally be a graphic designer in today's world with a simple app as Canva. So we need to explore, try new things, and I always say, put yourself in the shoes of your customer. What you're putting on social, is that something they would want to see? And then double back to simple basics of business. Sometimes the pricing I see online, they know it's ridiculous, so they'll tell you DM for price. It's because you know what you're selling, the price is not good. So let's just, on the business side too, let's be mindful of how we price our products. And if you do the simple things consistently, you can't get on social media and win unless you know you're a content creator like Kojo Sheldon who find radical ways of getting attention. If you're not a radical person, your best bet is consistency and long term. So just keep at it, you'd win.
Okay.
Hello. A lot of young people are like, yes, I want to become an entrepreneur, but I need this amount of money, like let's say 50K, so that I can get everything that I need. Then I start. Is this the right mindset for a young entrepreneur or a young person who is very interested in starting a business to have?
I get this question a lot, and I sometimes ask the person, how did you arrive at that figure? And you ask them, I did some estimate in my head, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. Because one, there are several stages in which you can get your business or your solution out to the market. And you need to go through some trial and test periods. And because you just having an idea in your head doesn't mean that it will work. Like for what Ellie said, he started his coconut business. I'm sure you did all the calculation in your head. Yes. And you thought that, oh, this one, dear, I'm sure he even dreamt about it. He woke up one morning and was like, Charlie, I dreamt I was sitting in a Benz with my coconut business blooming in all African countries. It's a dream. And it's just a dream. That's it. Until you do the proper due diligence, there is no way you can get a real scientific information to say that, oh, this business is going to work. Now, I'm sure people might ask, how do I get through to know that this business is going to work? I hear nowadays entrepreneurship are being taught in some of the technical schools. And I heard that last time when I was at Duapa. And I was very happy about it. One technical man there mentioned it, that now is becoming a thing. And I said, oh, then that is good. Because if some of us had that knowledge, I'm sure we would have been the next Bill Gates for Africa or whatever. Because when you have an idea, you need to do some kind of work, which we call research. You need to figure out, oh, who else is doing this kind of business? How are they doing it? What are they doing that is not good that you can make it better? Because no matter what, sometimes people think like, oh, if I share my idea with somebody, somebody will steal it. Who told you that? Before you think someone has thought, it's already out there, because you are not one man. You are not unique. I can tell you for a fact, nobody is unique. Whatever you are thinking that you want to do today, somebody has done it about 20 years ago. So you share it with somebody who has an experience, and then the person can guide you that, okay, oh, I've seen this before, or do it this way, or do it that way. That is another part. But you do your due diligence. Figure out that if you put this product out and you sell it at this X amount of money, would somebody buy it? If they will buy it, will they come back again and buy? Sometimes first sale is easy. And I can tell you, your family and friends, they will buy it on the first time. And they won't come again. Then you begin to realize that it is not working. But don't believe and trust what family and friends tell you. Because they'll tell you what you need to hear. It's like you are dead. They will sing praises. So, I mean, the due diligence is that you be in the idea state. You need to do the research and then figure out that if it's going to work, push a product out for testing, you prototype. After prototype, you will learn from it. And I can tell you, the guinea pigs you can use is the friends and family. They will test your products and force them to tell you the truth. Sometimes you can test an idea several times. I can use our product as an example. When we started Nasika, I thought that with my experience in managing other businesses, I thought, oh, Coco, you ever find easy. Masa, we crashed first year, 2019. We crashed because we thought that we could run a tech company the same way we ran our media production company. And it was totally different until we decided that we are going to start from afresh. We would avail ourselves to consume knowledge. So we enrolled in entrepreneurial programs. I went to sit in a classroom to be taught how to run a business again. And not just me and my team. We've been through Stanbic Incubator Program. We've been through UNICEF Startup Program. Innovation Hub. So 3 programs, and I can tell you, each one of them, 9 months. How many, just imagine, how many of us are willing to go and sit under somebody's tutorship or mentorship to take you through some of these things to understand it? Even some of us, we are doing it. How about some of you who might be younger than some of us? And we think that we want to be rich in just 1 month for launching a product on Instagram. Forget it. No, it doesn't work like that. And sometimes people look at their peers who might have been, let me say, lucky, and they have blown. So they think that, oh, they can also blow the same way. No. If you check some of these people who blow easily and see how far they go, you realize that some of them don't last. Yeah, after some time, they fall off because they don't have the fundamentals of understanding how proper business is run. And I can tell you, each business is run differently. You can run like the way we did ours. We thought that we could use the same experience we had in running a media house to run a tech company. We realized that it was totally different. So if you don't get the right information, the right knowledge to be able to push the right product out before you say that this is the time for you to enjoy your fruits of your labor, like what they say, then, and we should not be, I mean, for now, what I see with the youth is that we want to be rich overnight. We want to be part of the
20 under 20 30 under 20.
And
Yeah.
where I think some of us should stop avoiding some of these awards because they put so much pressure. So much pressure. Oh, true. We want to be in some list somewhere. Your microphone is up.
Hello.
So I will end here. I'm sure the rest of the team
All right.
have a lot to add up. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I don't know what.
Yeah, so just kind of like circling back around with that whole idea of how much money do I need to start a business, the 50K, the whole idea in your mind that you need a certain dollar amount to start a business. What you need is a simple idea. The next thing you need is to have belief in yourself. The third thing you need to have is no fear to start it. When I started my school, I started it literally with $300 in my pocket. I didn't know where my students were going to come from. I didn't know anything about social media, ad management, placement. I did traditional grassroots marketing, and this was in 2014, and social media existed. I went door to door posting flyers about what this opportunity that I was offering, and I had an open house. So I had nice like bouncy castle for the community and kids. I think 3 people showed up and 1 person signed up, and it was a guy that was in the Marines, and his wife, he wanted her to take one of my programs, the pharmacy tech program, because he said that, well, while he's moving across the country and even outside of the country where he's stationed at, that she'll always be able to have somewhere to work. So I started with that 1 student, and I kept going, and I kept going. You know, sometimes you have to listen to the intuition or that voice or that higher power, you know, that you believe in, to trust yourself. You know, don't think that it's a dollar amount that you need to be successful. It starts within and how you think and your mindset. So if you're creating this thought process already in your mind that I need 50K to even achieve the start of an idea, you've gone terribly wrong off path from the beginning. Yes, it's conducive to create a business plan because you need to write it out on paper. You need to see it. How are you going to create this? How are you going to achieve this? But the money part, it will come. And guess what? Sometimes it goes, and then it comes back, double, triple. So you can't let your faith waver. You have to start from somewhere, even if it's $10, $15. It could be even, it may not even cost you anything monetary. It could be a simple opportunity that you meet someone and you have this idea and there's a partnership that sparks. So someone that wants to invest in you because they believe in you, because you believe in yourself. So money isn't the end all be all for starting. The end all be all starts with you. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much, Shay. I'd like to acknowledge my sponsors once again. Thank you to Chambers Market, IT Guardian, Sadaka Rentals, Simpson Safety Consult, and then Bra Coleman Studios. He's the one taking all the lovely pictures. Now, the floor is open. If you leave me, I will ask thousands of questions, but I need you to ask our guest here a question. So when we ask a question, the microphone will come around. Everybody will ask a question before they leave. So who is ready with his or her first question? Any question at all. Nothing, no question is like, oh, a no-go area. Any question bothering your mind, we are here because of you. So please raise your hand. DJ Editor will give you the microphone. You ask your question, and our panel here will answer.
All right, thank you, Chelsea. My first question goes to Ellie. Many of us, the youth, right? We love IT, okay, but we don't have the interest in it. What methodologies or what ways do you think maybe you personally or your team can bring on board to make IT so interest to we the younger ones? Because I know learning IT, the coding is not easy, it's very tough. So how can it be made simple for us to love it?
Let me tell you a very funny story. I sat in a coding class, iSpace Accra. Then I raised my hand, please, this one is not for me. I can do a lot of things, but this one, not for me.
Chelsea, it's for you. Trust me, it is. It's for everyone. Please, what's your name? Paul, thank you for that question. Let me just acknowledge something, which is someone like DJ Editor. He calls himself the first class DJ because he's actually a first class student, but he's pursuing creative. He's pursuing, DJing. Coding is it's something everybody can learn, and I would show you how to do it. There's a platform on Microsoft called Microsoft Power Platform. Coding has moved from what else to literally natural language, where you can tell a program, I want to build a software that can, mark register, for instance, and it will just write the code for you. You don't have to write it. So we are in an age where we are looking for problem solvers, somebody who can literally explain clearly, I want to build this product. Let's say, and I'm oversimplifying here, let's say you want to build WooPro. I want to build a platform that will bring brands and influencers to transact and make money. So if you can explain that idea in a very detailed manner, you don't have to worry about the coding. There are platforms that can make your life easy. So I want all of us to still pursue our passion, but the disruption is happening in a way that it is going to influence whichever industry you are in. If you're a creative, IT or digital is going to make you more creative. How is it going to do that? I think Drake was explaining how, with samplers and simple tools that you can make music anywhere. He doesn't need a physical studio. It's the same way graphic designers now don't need to go learn Photoshop to be able to put together a simple creative. That is the age we are in now, where we just need problem solvers, critical thinkers. If you can identify the problem, clearly state how you want to land at your solution, a platform like Microsoft Power Platform will do the work for you. So that is the capabilities these big IT giants are building. We are all moving from hard code. If you want to do a website today, you don't need to learn HTML or CSS. You don't need it. With WordPress, there's already existing templates. You just need to understand what you want to do. So, Paul, what I'm saying to you is, do not be obsessed about learning the hard code if you're really not interested. Because without interest, believe me, it's twice the work. If you're interested, it's easier. If you're not interested, you should be curious enough to see how you can still build your solutions. And there are a lot of platforms to make it possible for you. So that's what I'm excited about, that we are in an age where the capability is there. We are just looking for the brains, literally.
And of course, we all have the brains.
Yes.
To add up, what Ellie said is just it. First of all, the interest is number one. Sometimes people feel like, because we are saying get digital skill, so everybody wants to go and learn it. No. I can tell you for a fact that some things are not for everyone. If you think that this one is not for you, find someone who can augment. Like we're talking about partnership. Sometimes you might have the brain, you have an idea of how to create a tech solution, but you don't know how to build it. That is the time for you to look for someone who you can partner to get it done. I used to build websites, like he said, writing HTML code, and it was plenty, yes. Now I have about 10 websites running on my server, and I didn't write any code. Never. I was like, why should I waste time? Within 24 hours, I could build a website and ship it on. And there are so many of such platforms. You just need to ask. You just need to ask. Now, platforms like Squarespace, others, Rex, yes. Sometimes we find these adverts popping up on our YouTube channels, but we ignore. But they are available. They will build the sites for you. They can even add e-commerce to it for you to even sell. Some of them even give you the opportunity to integrate APIs. You can even add mobile money. And the possibilities are there. Just that, like I was saying on radio this morning, so I think the knowledge for some of these things are not easily available for everyone. So some of us don't know. So those of you who are here, it's an opportunity to tap into the knowledge of what the team here has. And we are, like we are saying, after the event is not the end. YFM can decide to push some of these requests to some of us to even get back to you and assist some of you who are willing to push some things out there. And the possibilities are endless. That's what I would say.
I just want to add quickly. Sorry, I just want to add quickly. If you're here today and, you know, clearly you are here to at least get some value out of the time you've spent here, I want you to do your future a favor by taking this course called Design Thinking. It's a free course that you can get on ibm.nation. Just Google it, Design Thinking. There are even Design Thinking courses on YouTube you can take. Arm yourself with this knowledge. Arm yourself with this specific knowledge. It will make you more employable with all the jobs that are coming in. With the disruption that is coming in, AI is about to take jobs. To you, it will look like AI is bringing you more jobs. Position yourself so that when people are complaining of losing jobs, you are smiling because it's just more jobs for you. You'll find yourself in a position where you're consulting for multiple brands, multiple projects, without even leaving your comfort of your room, all because you're armed with this specific knowledge of design thinking. So just do your future a favor by arming yourself. It's a problem-solving skill that if you have, you'll be thankful for it. Thank you.
With regards to design thinking, it helps you to identify a user persona. Idea na ewo no yemfa ne befa nimpa kro nti nimpa no nisu ne ban ne nyama ehwa otaye on design thinking no nti like okay no say kwahwehwe wo social media na there kwahwehwe wo Google University, we are there. It will help you nti ewunde he the mr na meta apam the mr nkofa he na wope. The main design thinking can help you. Whatever solution that you have through design thinking, it will help you to even critique the design before you bring it out. Any more question?
Before another question comes, I think I foresee this, that most of us find it difficult to learn on our own. So when you tell people that go and Google this and learn it and take this course, people are like,
watch series from first episode 2.
Imagine people consume 14 episodes of series in less than 8 hours. Yes, people sit down and they do that, but they don't have time to learn anymore. And these courses, I can tell you for a fact, you only need like 45 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Most of these design thinking class.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of us, we've taken it. And 45 minutes a day. How long does it even take? Not less than a week or so. Yes, you can even spend a whole day to just, if you really want to have time. But just give yourself some time, go back, do your assignments, go back to it again. You will be done. And they give you a certificate. They give you a physical one. Your name on it. Do you get it? So please, those of us who spend much of our time doing other things that are not really productive, yes. I'm not saying that don't have fun, because it's part of life, yes. But I mean, look at your time and schedule it and say, within the 24 hours, how many hours am I going to be productive? If at the end of the day, you check the number of hours you've worked and none of them is going to bring you something substantial to your life or your career or for the future, then what are you doing?
All right. It's good to acquire knowledge, but aside you acquiring the knowledge, make sure you get the right understanding so you can use it to impact your community. Please, do you have any more questions? Okay. Please use the microphone.
Hello.
Yes, working.
Yeah. I think Uncle Ellie will testify that we have great IT guys in the industries who have built more apps and more projects which will solve, let's say, problems in the country. But they are not buying them. The competition from the outside world are rather dominating. Let's say Uber and Bolt, for instance. We have people who have built local apps, which if
like
the Taxify, which if the government buys in, will help us solve them. That's not a question. You people are already there. What advice will you give to us who are still pushing and maybe who have the projects, but yet still we're not getting there? What advice, please, will you give to us?
Trick.
Well, I always say
Hello?
maybe I'll use Ellie's mic.
Hello?
Okay, so another thing one of my partners does is investment and capital injection, and often I sort of consult for him. So he would say, should we do this or not? Actually, that's what I have a degree in, and I've realized that anytime people who have these amazing and beautiful ideas, the part they leave out is the money bit. How bankable the app is, how bankable the software is. You see, for a business person, yeah, you have a great idea. I can put in my money. Not too long ago, I think it was just about 4 days ago, I met this gentleman, very brilliant gentleman, at the discourse we had with the guys from Rwanda. I'm sure Ralph knows about that. And I met this gentleman. He's from Ghana, and he has this brilliant idea. But what the idea lacked was how the investor was going to make back his money. So first of all, he didn't even have an idea of how much he needed and what he was going to do with. No, he had an idea of how much he needed, but what he was going to do with that money and how I was going to get, or we were going to get that money back. And it's a question anytime you ask, they always, so I say this, you do not need to have that answer, but there are people who are experts in giving you that answer. Let them do that part for you. You've written the program, you have the app or you have the website you think is going to solve a brilliant, it's going to solve a problem, and that will be a brilliant idea. Also get that guy who will be able to sell that to the investor for you. If you say there are no investors, I disagree. There are investors. For instance, I had a conversation with one of the big guys. He has no idea about anything we've discussed here today, but he has the money. You see, businessmen here in Ghana or in Africa always want to invest in things they understand. And it's like that everywhere in the world. If you don't understand an environment, you don't necessarily go in, put your money so much and think that you're going to get it back. Some people are very daring and take big and huge risks. I mean, businessmen take huge risks. But I think some of us ourselves, we downplay the programs we've done, or we downplay the things we're coming. It comes in the way we talk to the investor. You come unsure. You come not believing the app you have or the program you have. You come not having your numbers written down properly. Get people to, I know a group of people, they're young business people who put plans together for people for free. You know, I chanced upon them, and I found them out from two of the guys who pitched an ECG type of app to us. And like when you look at it, and they got the investment. They got the investment. You know, sometimes people come to you, so, oh, I have this brilliant idea. Then you ask questions. How long do you think it's going to take for me to get my what are the profit margins? And they're totally lost. It's something they never even thought of, because you get excited about an amazing idea and you forget that once investment comes in, it's like you are telling me to give you my money. One guy said, oh, I need 50,000. It's funny how that figure is coming up today. It's like, I need 50,000. Okay, how do I get the money back? He says, oh, I'm creating something like a fund. And so I will put 40,000 down and invest 10,000 from your money into the thing. And then, so I'm thinking, if I have the 50,000, why don't I put it in my business? And why do I have to give you for you to put down in a fund? A fund I know nothing about. I don't know who and whose signature is there. And he says, oh, anytime you want your money back, you can come for it. He lost it there. So have conversations also around the business side of what you've created. And like Ralph said, look at what people have done in the past. When you go online, there are success and there are success stories of other people, other businesses. Equally, there are people who have failed. And so that will help you to know the number of times Mark failed, what got into him failing. You know, there are even documentaries. Actually, I was watching a documentary not long ago on Netflix, you know, on a business and how it collapsed, it failed. It's a whole series. You know, it will help you to know where to go and where not to go.
All right, thank you. Do we have more questions? Do we have more questions? Hold on, Ralph,
Okay.
because yeah. But just the conversation here, because I have a lot to say. Mpocho, can you ask your question?
Hello. Yeah. My name is.
Can we see your handsome face, please? Yeah, we want to see you. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Jeremiah, and my question is: if you have more than one ideas or talents, how do you go about it? As in, which one to start first, and what do you do about the other talent or ideas?
Wow, that's a good one. If you're a multifaceted person, how do you handle it? I think I find myself in that situation.
Yeah. I always say there's no blueprint to one kind of success. But if you have multiple ideas, start with the one that's economically viable. For me, I went to school actually to do marketing and management. And, you know, it's funny, I'm actually a database administrator by certificate also. But I never used any of that. I realized that, okay, my music came to play, and I was making money at the time with my music. It also gave me exposure. Now, I leverage on that to help me push up the other ones, because, for instance, now that I am Trig, it makes it easier for me to walk into any office to have any kind of discussion. If not for anything at all, the secretary might be a fan and allow me to go in to have a meeting with the CEO. So look at the parts of you that now is bringing you something. Not necessarily money per se, even if it's just exposure for people to know that this is what you've done. Like Ellie said he went ahead with a coconut idea, so he learned how some of the mistakes that he did and what not to do, you know, in that case. But then Ellie is a tech guy, and I'm sure he did the tech first, so that he got the you concurrently, yeah. But then again, there was more interest in the tech. Yes. So he used that, and that would also help him to actually maybe buy a few coconuts, or even buy bottles that he will put the water in and all of that. Because even though money is not the only resource, money is very, very important. So you look at that which will take you to the next thing. Look at the first step. You know, for me, it was my music. Paul might be a graphic designer, but currently maybe he will be making more money from maybe printing or anything. They all work together. So he will start doing his printing, and then when you come, he says, "Oh, I can also design for you. I can do your logo, or I can actually do the design for the T-shirt before I print it." So then he's working two together. Maybe he has another gift in growing something, and then he later says, "With that money, I want to invest in agriculture." You know, so it works hand in hand. Just figure out where your strengths lie. You start with that, and you leverage on that to get the few other ones around you.
Trig, I want to add to what Trig said, because you referenced the coconuts. Maybe now it's a good time for me to share the lesson I learned in giving the coconut business a shot. One of the lessons was, if you really, really want to succeed, you need to focus. If you want to be great, at it, you can't be divided about it. Another lesson I learned was, so I was still keeping my day job, and the coconut was like a side job. So my idea was, I'm going to raise capital through my day job and then use that to fund my side business, which was the coconut. What I didn't realize was, you can't excel at a business doing it at night and then daytime you're doing something else. So just like Trig said, find the most viable one, put your energy there, focus there, take the wins from there, the lessons, and then use that to, fund the second one. And then, because if you look at any big business right now, they are not doing just one thing. MTN is doing voice, data, They do mobile money. They are trying to build a messaging app now. If you look at Facebook, Facebook started with Facebook. They acquired Instagram. They've acquired WhatsApp. Nobody's doing one thing. Amazon was an e-commerce business. Now it has AWS, which is even bringing in more money than he could have imagined the e-commerce would do. But you wouldn't know that. You would think they're all doing one thing. No business is surviving off of doing one thing. But they had to win at one first, and then move to the second one, and then to the third one. So if you have multiple things you want to do, just like Trick said, focus on the one that you believe is more viable, win at it, take the lessons, and then do the second one and the third one, and you'll be fine.
Any more question, please? We have another gentleman.
Hello.
Sweet. Please, let's see you.
I'm Pomford.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I'm an SHS graduate. I graduated Akutia Technical Institute way back 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So due to attachment, I moved to Takrady to stay with a family person. He's a machinist. He worked at Rio for a very long time. He has gained much knowledge into machining, which is latent and then welding aspects.
Okay.
So I decided to broaden my horizon by staying with him. I spent much time at shop. I came here, I started as an apprentice. Now all my masters are gone. I'm the one in charge at shop. But how much time, the much time I spend at the shop, I don't gain anything. Only I work, the money comes, he uses it for his investments. He doesn't think about we the workers.
Okay.
The smaller ones who are making the money for him. He doesn't think about it. Do I quit and then go somewhere else to, a person who can like help me achieve my dreams, like make me further my education to the extent I want?
Okay.
Because I spend very much time. I don't get time to do hobbies like aside things. Thank you. That's my question.
I love the question.
A
solid one.
Yeah. I will ask you a question, then it will help me to answer. I want to find out from you, you did mention that should you quit to go to a place where you can pursue your dream. So I want to ask you what your dream is, if you don't mind.
Okay. Let's see, I have a whole lot of dreams. I can what? Initially, I wanted to be a pilot. That was the whole dream. I wanted to be a pilot. But now I can what? I can do lighting. I can do small electronics. So the dream is like many. But the ones which is the tech thing that I really love doing it, I don't get much time doing it for myself. That's it.
Okay. That's very interesting. But let me just say this. You're lucky to have the basics. And it's not just you, but a lot of us initially were not taught that we are being trained for us to pursue things that will aid our own lives. Some of us just want jobs. A job is something you do that pays you, and it ends there. But if you want to pursue a career, you would have to, and like we've said here from the beginning of the program, self-train. You would have to make the time. If you have to do the extra things, you have to do that. You see, the difference between the rich and poor, and I heard this from someone and I've been pondering over it, is information. It's information and how you use the information that you have. You have been able to acquire knowledge in welding, and you probably are used to, or the customers that come to you weld maybe the similar things all the time. So what will make a difference is what you are welding differently, or how you are going to market that thing. I think you should not take it from a sentimental point of view where you are angry or disappointed in your boss or whoever is training you. See that he's giving you the basics. Now, what can you do with the basics? What can you do with what you have? Let me give you an example. When I started music, I really hated the way people thought about musicians, and I still do hate it, because people think they are the leftovers. People probably failed in school and decide to, jump into it. Now, I always wanted to change the narrative. I've always wanted to change the narrative and make a difference. So when I started working, doing the music, before the music, I had worked as a sales guy, I had worked as a marketing guy, radio producer, and all of that. And all that I was doing was to push my music and to push it differently. Now, I stayed with one musician. I'm not going to mention his name before you guys go attacking him on social media. And I used to think that he was hard on me. He didn't care about me and everything. This guy literally takes me on stage and never makes the crowd see my face. So he would go on stage and say, yeah, Charlie, for day the back, and back me. So he would do all his performances and I'll be the guy who, and then most of his songs, I was the guy that was backing him and everything. Guess what? I hated my voice. I really hated my voice. I love to just rap, and I hated my voice. It was the same guy who would say, until you do a song that you are singing, I'm not going to put it out. I'm never going to put any song you rapped in. And he never did. And I hated him. I hated him. Out of that pain, I recorded Nobody Knows Tomorrow. Now, one thing I thank God that I never did was to walk away. It's like I endured and learned all the lessons. When I became Trig, I had to fall on all the lessons I learned when working with him. He taught me how to stand on stage, how to hold a microphone, Now I found myself not allowing people who back me come on stage with me. And there was a time I asked him, Charlie, those days, why then you don't want to make a come stage? He said, never let anybody steal your shine. At that moment you're on stage, it's about you. So I learned that thing. And that guy really pushed me to even love my performance and performances and put in more energy and all of that. So all I'm saying is that when you find yourself in a space, don't just look at your expectations. Look at what you can acquire from there or from within that space. Ellie now works with a company. Now I'm sure he's learned so many things, even beyond the tech. I'm sure there are times where his boss will piss him off. I'm sure there are times where he'll be like, Charlie, hey, if you don't be this office, I will punch this guy. When I joined YFM, I learned so many things. Trust me, I didn't just learn doing radio or just sitting on a radio. Now this comes back to my ultimate goal. I wanted to change the narrative. So with time, I started getting myself more into music education programs. By that time, I had already become Trig with the knowledge I learned from whoever I stayed with or whoever mentored me. So see where you are more as a mentorship space than just a work. See your master as a mentor, as somebody. Sometimes try and ask him questions beyond what the other guys were asking him. Something like, when are you going to pay me? When are you going to increase our salary? Ask him questions like, how do you do this? Okay, how do we change the workforce? How do we change? Maybe I've seen a welder who did this and got more customers. Can we try this? Then you are growing yourself. Some he will refuse out of not, feeling like the lesser guy. Yeah. But some he will take into consideration. What is important here is you. It's not him. Because for all you know, he will never, I don't want to use the word care, but he would never give you what you expect because you have so many expectations. But put all of that in yourself. How can you convert where you find yourself to where you want to go and where you want to be? The Magtip Music Club, for instance, I started really small. Paul here was one of the guys that were on the club. When we started, nobody understood the concept. Nobody wanted to buy into it. The musicians I started with were 6. They all left, just like your other colleagues have left. You understand? Paul was the only one that remained, and he's not a musician. So unfortunately, the club would have collapsed. Now I had to start paying other musicians to come and teach. The good thing here is that suddenly I started getting international partners. All these international partners are music-based. My program is currently a Harvard program. So the students who come are Harvard students who come and do. Anytime they come, they end up leaving, and then before I realize, Paul is doing some partnership program with them. But it's for his gain now. And I'm happy that he never left. These other guys have gone and then they've lost out big time. So these are some of the things that you can look beyond your expectations. Trust me, it will fall in place.
Always have a bigger picture with regards to whatever you're doing. Ralph.
I have been in your shoes before, and I understand the kind of frustrations and anxiety as well, because you feel maybe you're being stifled and you want to sort of either grow or you want more money. So you have to be very careful what you are really asking for from your boss. To add up to what Trick said, I will not tell you to either stay or leave. The point is, see yourself as still in a learning process. I remember when I had just come out from university and I was staying with supposedly a friend and a business partner. We were living in one room, and he had a double bed, but the bed was off limit to me. I was sleeping in a 2-in-1 chair, sofa. I'm saying this for you to understand where I'm coming from. 2-in-1, how can a tall person like me squeeze myself in a 2-in-1 chair and sleep every night? And I did this for about a year, almost 2 years. And I was with him because I helped him build sound system, spinning machines that we play at functions. And I was the main DJ who was traveling with it to Asenkregwa, Dumkwao, and all those things, and I was playing. And do you know that this guy will travel from Takwa and come to wherever we are playing? He will only come and take the money from the person who has hired us and go back. I will stay, play, still dismantle the equipment, take 207 bars, and come back to base. I don't know if you are getting the picture. Because he was always interested in the money. He would always come and get it and go. I did not complain. But I availed myself. It was a learning process for me. In the sense that at that time, the small monies I was making off him, I used it to learn, to do my associate degree in business management and administration. And the point is, I knew I had a purpose. Because after school, I realized that I didn't find myself working for anybody. So I decided to equip myself with the knowledge I need, like what our sister has been saying over, the knowledge. So that at the right time, when it's time for me to blow, like we all say, it will happen. So put yourself in the shoes like I did and say that it's a learning process. Sometimes you don't know your end goal. And I'm sure that is how come you are thinking you should quit. Now, if you quit, what will you do? That's a question. But since you are there, at least you are working, is keeping you busy. Because if you're idle, that is even more dangerous. Do you get it? Be there. Do what you're doing, but have an end game that at least if anything, an opportunity should happen, what will I do with it? Because if you don't know, or you don't have any plan in place that you can take up such an opportunity, then, boss, when you even leave, you still not have anything to do. Because you need to have an end game. So plan in your head. I'm thinking some of your colleagues that are there, if you guys have don't know how to put a business in place, get someone to consult for you, to advise you. And like we are talking, partnership. 5 of you coming together to set up a welding shop, you'll be more powerful than one master. Do you get it? Just imagine if 5 of you all coming together, you are good at lathing, you can weld. The other guy can do maybe something else. You look at all your skills and decide to come together. A company, and you get somebody to push it for you, get the business done well. There is one thing we always forget, and Trick mentioned it: the money side. In startups or small business, we call it the unit economics. A lot of times we don't do that. We don't look at, like he said, how the business makes money. That is the question we need to understand. We don't do these things and assume that, oh, I have this idea, which will add up to what the other guy at the back there mentioned. You don't do the unit economics. There's no business model. And you assume that when you push the business out, it will work. Boss, and if you don't have this plan in place, no one will give you money. Sometimes I hear Takrady people complain a lot. Oh, we have the big men. They don't support us. We want to do this. I hear it all the time. And I say, why not? Who should give you his money? Why? Are you the rightful? I don't get it. People say that a lot. Are you his nephew? You are supposed to inherit from him, so he has the right to give you his money to invest in your business. Don't you hear it all the time? They say Takrady people, they have money. They won't give us money to us invest. Master, it doesn't work like that. You need to have a purpose before you approach someone to give you money for your business. And I'm sure you might be thinking about that. Sometimes you want to say, oh, Unyanka, you can do your own business. Do you know how much a lathe machine costs? And it's very expensive. Very expensive. So for you to even decide that you want to set up your own machine shop, who will give you that money to buy it? Answer that question.
More questions because better by 3 na yewi. You see, I want to know what questions now. Let's do it this way. Can you just come this way for us? Our questioner name Busa. Then we will tackle the questions.
Mine will not be a question per se, but
Okay.
to also add up. I personally believe that the youth of nowadays don't have that lack of willingness to be under someone.
Okay,
as
serving.
As Trick said, he dedicated himself to be there, and now the opportunity is coming their way. I learned into the engineering field as a planner. People were insulting me. I was just there, young boy, 22 years, no General Kelly. We are technical coordinator. You man won't mean yet. We did my term, Miss you, at war, or did my term. 2 years, Messiah. But at the end of the day, letting the customers know that I can be of service to them because I'm coming from a business background. Oh, senior, what can I do for you? Your presentation, Excel sheet, don't worry, I will give you. And then I set up my company, and Kelly, where are you? I'm here. Oh, bring your proposal. Let's settle it for you. The point we are trying to say here is we are able to be smart, know the right questions to ask. Esikafo brain are around. The only thing they need to do here is they want you to come and ask the questions so that they can boast. Bebre notice here. Sikeni wo ho pese obosti chairman for say baby odru ye ni say young guys go to them ask question. God is love. Trick, how did you get here? It's a long story, meaning that obetwa ben. Those are the things you are not doing. Meet them, talk to them. At the end of the day, he will get you. Oh, please come. Take my card. Call me. Let's have conversations. At the end, also, please, I'll add the last one, partnership. When the money comes in, that's where we see different side of people, especially those who've not seen money before. The moment they start seeing the money, it's a different thing. I just ended my work with my former employer, and we just won a contract. Whilst leaving, I got a contract for them. Whilst leaving that day on my birthday, 28,000 USD. They called me to tell me they can't pay me, not knowing they were thinking they can do my job. As we speak, all the data of the company, I created it. I will just copy it and take away. So what will you do? That is what majority of them also don't think. When they start seeing the big money, hey, say ska wo ho, but wouldn't name say ni pakrona also company me no. On bit me aye. This is where we should be very careful. My other brother was a victim. He did partnership. The end, the guy told him he has used the money for his friend's wedding, and that was it. Yes. 2 a.m. we were doing an event just at NASA Hotel. MTN called. Kelly, you guys did very well. We will sponsor it the next day. And they gave the sponsorship. After that, the guy told him, no, but the madam for their wedding. Partnership should be very careful. Know the kind of friends you select. It's not the type who come and say, it's kaba, intini ekweyenim, debi. Muvi ensua, yobe kakra. You guys don't yob. Yobe. Memi yanguneni metino say krum. Your be oh senior, bra penny, and one fedia, or babesia, or bow baby or so. Thank you. It's a psychological mindset when it comes to business. All customers will call me, not because anything. Kelly be your beme, obema mitrumaya mede. That is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kenny. But you know, there is something that he said about partnership. If you are getting into partnership, make sure you have something called contracts. Contracts. Partnership no reckon. Ebinum onkoye one because there was nothing like contract. Oh, minimum no. Oh, on yamishe. Into your share. No, sana nipa nitim yusum. But if there is a document, even a paper, he say, oh, what's up? If there is something that was written somewhere, there on the 25th of December, you said, may win them contract here, 2% and now 1%. When you go to the law court, able to issue. It's important. Don't just get into partnership like that.
We need to really revisit again. When we talk about partnership, it's not just a verbal kind of arrangement that two people decide to do something together. No. If at all, the two of you don't write something down like what she mentioned, like a contract. Our business registration bits of the country, which is a legal process that you have to go to start a business, it gives that room for you to streamline your partnership arrangements. So I don't know, how would you start a business without even registering it? And we are going to register it. Make sure that you are sort of using the right, buying the right forms, if I should say that. Yes, because you can't register a sole proprietor and call it partnership. You get it? It's there. You can buy LLC, limited liability company, and decide that two of you are directors, and you state the ownership shareholding. It is in there. You have to state it. So if you are in partnership with someone and all these things are not structured legally, you will be cheated. Or if even you are not cheated, somebody else can cheat you. I don't know if you are getting it. So it's not just a verbal, oh, two of you come together, oh, he's my brother's daughter's son, so we are family, so it doesn't matter. No, when it comes to business, do the right thing. The legal side is very important. Get it structured nicely. In the startup space, we call something founders something, I've forgotten. But there are documents and individual, you yourself, you can decide to structure it in a place. If you are the 2 or 3 founders that came together to sign, then you can have add-on who will join you later, and then they can become shareholders and can also benefit, because if they helped you build a solution and they didn't get remuneration for it, I don't know if you are getting it. Sometimes 2 of you can decide to start a business, but going forward, you realize that you need a 3rd person to assist. When that person comes on, you can decide to share off, both of you, your ownership of the business for the person. But you don't give it to the person instantly. You can decide to say that if you stay with us for the next 5 years and we're able to meet these targets, then we can give you this share ownership, then you can benefit. There are so many of these arrangements that can be made, but some of us don't know. I will take it as an opportunity to inform some of us who are willing to sit down and learn. There are 2 startup or tech hubs who train people in entrepreneurship in all these things I'm talking about. Duapa and iCode, and I think there's a 3rd one. Yeah, 3.
So we have Duapa, we have iCode, we have SE Hub.
Okay, so this is a secret. They don't charge a thing. It's so funny that people don't know this. Anything they do there, they teach, is free. Sometimes they even give you transportation to go home. They rather give you money because they are funded. And people don't know these things. So if you have an idea, you are thinking of, you won't get some of us to mentor you, to help you, you can walk over there and tell them that, oh, I'm have this I want to do. Sometimes in the course of you meeting as group, they can pair you or even put some of you together. Realize that you have an idea, there are 3 of you. When you come together, you can push something to going. And they will assist you with all these things we are talking about. Unit economics, business model, your MVP. There are so many terms you will learn later on, realize that, look, And these courses are, the course we did with UNICEF in Accra, it ran for 6 months. According to the top UNICEF guys, they told that this course is like a master's program at Harvard and the rest. And we benefited for it. How much did we pay? Nothing. Free. They even gave us money to our transportation from here to Accra. Just imagine that. We didn't pay a thing. We stayed in a 4-star hotel every week in the month for 6 months. You see, people don't have the knowledge. So ask. These things are all available. You'll be shocked. And we should be happy that it is happening at this time, because the digital, acceleration is taking off. So a lot of donor agencies and international bodies are pushing lots of money. GIZ, I'm giving you this secret for free. GIZ has this program, and they are pushing into all these programs across the country. If you like Google GIZ activities in Ghana, a lot. Even in Takrady here, they are giving so much money for so many things. Do you know why? They don't want us to migrate to Europe. So they are giving us money to start our own businesses here. That is a secret. So if this is happening now, why are you not taking advantage? Please, if you don't know, I have told you, go and find out. It is, go walk to Duapa. They will sit you down right now, put you on a 3-month program, and you won't pay anything.
Okay, so far as, it's not just digital space in Kotain. So far as you have even those in agriculture, whichever area you find yourself, okay, there are a lot of opportunities that are available. Please ask your question.
All right, so to delve more into the money bit, the question is, would you advise that for somebody who wants to start a business, he should go in for a loan? The reason why I'm asking this question is because if you hear most of these big guys, the stories of Mark Zuckerberg, Aliko Dangote, and all that, there is that link. Our own Donald Trump, his father loaned him a loan of $1 million at the age of, let's say, 24 years. So if he is who he is, let's say today, of course he's done well. He's been able to, like, let's say, manage and they make make it big. He had a loan of $1 million. Now, let's come to Africa. Aliko Dangote, his own grandfather owned a plane back in the day. That was around 1960. When you talk about, let's say, Japan, he went to Germany, he went to US, he had money, he came back and he started something. Let's also, this one, Mahama. The last time, not the president, the brother, he said that he went to US, and when he came back, he had, I think, about $10,000. And that is huge money then, I think about 30 years ago. Of course, the credit still is for them because the fact that they were really able to use the money and then now they are big is a very huge thing. Because if you read Think and Grow Rich and all these big books, the whole thing is about the idea. But then something must fund the whole idea. Now, when you go to the Arab states and all that, you can go for a loan at a very low rate of let's say 3% in other places. But in Ghana here, the loans are over 27%. I mean, I think about 2-3 years ago, I took a loan of 40,000 cedis. And then the rate was about 26%. That's crazy. So, I mean...
So your question is is it right for you to
really
go for a loan?
A loan, exactly.
To start your business.
To start a business.
This one there, it's a straight answer. But Ralph would answer, and then Ellie, or who wants to go first? Yeah, Ralph,
Yeah,
please go
Ralph
first.
should go. I actually wanted to answer different questions for you.
Okay.
I will start, but you add up, I'm sure. Um,
That's going to be
is
our
it-
last question.
The
though.
question is it all about money, right? Or should you go for a loan to start a business?
Yeah. Looking at the kind of environment we find ourselves.
Yes, this question, or I've made this statement once before, and I said that yes, money is everything. It is true. Money is everything. But when it comes to business or starting a business from the ground up, money is like 20% of it. The rest are solely very important that sometimes anybody who wants to give you money will not even look at the money bit. Sometimes it's even your attitude, your personality. The point is that if you tell me you want to do, like for instance, this guy comes to me and said he's a welder. He can do this, he can fabricate, he can do late work and all that. I will believe him because he has a track record. You see the key word, track record. 2, he's done this for a while, so the experience is also there. At the end of the day, that is all he knows. So if even I tell him that stop late work and go and do masonry, he will not be able to function. So sometimes the person who is even asking for the money is important. Unfortunately, like you are saying, in Africa and sometimes in Ghana, you can't just walk to a bank with a fresh idea and say that they should give you this money. Nobody will do that. It's impossible. So I'm surprised. Which bank are you getting that loan from? Because I also want some. No, you get it. No bank, I will tell you for a fact. Look, we hear it in the news and policymakers make big statements that they are funding startups here and there. But look at it. Unfortunately, it is rather foreign institutions and agencies or investors rather pushing money into businesses, into Africa especially. Unfortunately, if I compare us to Nigeria and South Africa, Ghana is at the very, very lowest stage. Look, every startup in Ghana is looking for funding. I can tell you for a fact. But the point is, why is Ghana not being attractive enough for some of these investments to come in? There are so many factors. When we should talk about it now, it will never end. Right from the top to the bottom. Sometimes it is we as a person, if even our own way of thinking is not even giving us the money. Because I remember when we were in the World Bank program and they talked about the project we did with them was on the identity issue in Africa and how startups can solve some of these problems. Yes, and then move from identification to social protection in terms of where NASICA comes in as savings and offering financial services to the ordinary person. Yeah, and then that issue came up that who is a Ghanaian? This question, because we have an identity problem in Ghana. Yes, we think that the passport is not, the birth certificate is not, and then now we are saying the Ghana card. But we use the passport to get a Ghana card. So, chicken and the egg, who came first? You see, and I can tell you for a fact, in the program, the World Bank, they laughed at Ghana. I won't lie you. It was a funny thing. They passed a comment, they laughed. The Ghana card, they don't even know who is a Ghanaian. And this project is happening in 4 other African countries. They have solved the problem for them. So I can tell you, you live in a very peculiar and different environment as a country. So, boss, you have to find a loophole. Sometimes we think that things will work like magic. No. There is always some corner B, some strategy B, somebody, sometimes it's your own peers, they know the strategy. For us, Ellie was asking, why are you not loud in Accra and all that? And I told him, we have some regulatory compliance that is making us not to be, because everything is regulated. But we found a loophole, and we are able to use that to be able to survive. Otherwise, some of us will be out of business. We will still go back and do 9 to 5 till we die and take pension. I'm telling you for a fact. But it's all up to us to know that we can do more. The money bits, please, it won't happen. I can tell you, there are small funds that are being pushed around. It's just that we don't know. And sometimes you don't even need a loan. You need a grant. They will free money. You will get it. Somebody will give it to you for free just because you put yourself out there to get some things done. Please, information there. I'm not going to lie to you. Information a day. Just know where to get it. That's all.
Ellie, please add up.
The gentleman who asked the question about, the welder, your question has been eating at me. Please, what's your name? Banford. Panford.
Yes.
Okay, a name I won't forget. Panford. Right, so I would share some parts of my journey, my early career, and maybe that could be some insights and learnings in there for you. I think you should hold on to the vision. You want to be a pilot, so you have to hold on to the vision, think into the future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where would I be? What do I need to get there? When I started out, I've tried a lot of things. Coconut is just one of them. I've worked in the bank before, Barclays Bank, and I learned a lot of things there. I work in the media monitoring. They monitor media. They do something interesting. I learned, how to even use Excel there. The point I'm trying to make is, even when I was going through those jobs, that clearly isn't what I want to do. I held on to my vision. I know what I want to do. So even when I was doing my national service, daytime, I did my national service on campus. I did computer science. So I did my national service with the department, and I was in the IT department. So daytime, I was fixing PCs. I was making sure the network was working. I know this is not what I want to do. It is just a means to an end. At the end of the day, I stayed till 12 midnight sometimes. There were times I wasn't going home. My mom would get worried and call me, because when I close at 5, from 5 to I really get tired, I am funding my dream. I am learning things. In that moment, I took advantage of the free internet, and I was taking courses. I was learning how to do things. And I can tell you that I am where I am today thanks to the fire I was funding back then after my 9 to 5 ended. So I just want to share with you that where you are now, hold on to the vision. Make sure you still keep your eye on being a pilot and ask questions. Find out how you can become a pilot, and then start doing things from there. Take from this job and invest into what you really want to do, which is your dream and your vision. And then the gentleman about raising funds, I think loan should always be your last resort. People invest in ideas that they've seen a bit of progress, or at least a bit of structure. So your goal when you're starting a business or a startup is to make sure you have enough to show an investor that this is a viable idea. Asking people to invest in an idea without anything to show for it is a big ask, unless the person is your family member or they really want to root for you. But if you really want to do it the right way, find little money, just like Ralph is saying. There are funds you can take from your friends, you can take donations, don't take a loan. Because it is difficult to walk away from a failed business when you are in debt, because now it follows you everywhere you go. So make sure you start with the little you have. And I want to finish by saying, even Wipro is born out of a big company, Global Media Alliance. Funding is not the issue. However, as a team, we had to make it make sense to management, make a business case for it. Why should they put all this money into this product because you say so? No. We have other businesses we can push our money into. So we had to go do a market research and show that this is the trend in influencer marketing. We worked with finance to make it make sense. Like just Trick said, it has to make business sense. We work with finance, they did projections, they looked at the investment, what we'll get from it. And sometimes you run a business knowing the first few years you would make a loss. Uber is still not making money. Facebook didn't make money for years. Twitter is still not making money. Snapchat didn't make money for years. You go into business knowing the first few years you are not going to cash out, but you hold the vision. You hold the dream that if you build the brand, if you iterate the product in the beginning and it becomes a market fit, maybe in the 5th year, you start cashing out. And usually when you start cashing out, there is no way back from there. That is when the growth strategies comes in and you're diversifying your investment into the second business, and then you become a conglomerate. There is information. My issue with the young people now, which since the lockdown, I've been seizing every opportunity. Webinar, I go there to speak for one reason. I don't do it for money. I feel like we just need to let people know there is information, get that information, and your life will be different.
Get that information and your life will indeed be different. I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors once again. We want to say thank you to Chambers Market, IT Guardian, Sadaka Rentals, Gibson Safety Consoles, and then Bra Coleman Studios. All right, I'm giving you just a minute to just sum it all up. What do you want our audience to go home with? Ellie.
Today is 30th October. My dream is 5 years from now, even 10 years from now. Maybe one of you call the station, call Ejikumo, call Chelsea and say, on 30th October 2021, you heard something here that made you go back and do things differently. My charge to everybody here is become a lifelong learner. Learn, be curious, ask questions. That is what will make you different from your same peers that you graduated school from. There is a young man who got close to me. I don't know why he did. He got close to me, and in the space of 6 months, I challenged him to take a lot of short courses. And then he went to apply for a job with his fellow mates who even had first class. I think he was second class. And he said the people chose him ahead of the other guys because he came with extra. He had a lot more skills other than just what he got from formal education. So my plea, and I'm literally begging, I'm on my knees, imagine it, I'm on my knees, learn, take short courses, be different, don't do what everybody's doing, find what will keep you ahead, which I believe if you arm yourself with digital skills, you will be unstoppable.
Thank you. Trick.
Yeah, well, I would say be careful what you label as boring. A lot of us just want to have fun, and it's very unfortunate. You know, we have fun at the expense of, you know, the better things that we could be doing, and we still call it fun. So whatever you think that is boring, things like, you know, seminars, workshop, webinars, all these things that you call boring, these are the things that will empower you. Like I said, what makes the difference between you and the next person is information. So what information do you have that makes you better? Just like Ellie said, that makes you the other guy, that makes you the different guy. Why be good when you can be very good? Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? So always look out for that thing that gives you that extra thing. Also learn to diversify. Always learn to diversify. A lot of us have sunk because we stay in a ship that is sinking. You know that it's sinking, and we call it a dream, but you know it's sinking. Like Ellie said, hold on to the dream, but then learn to diversify, and then come back to revisit the dream. You understand? We're young and everything, but I think life is really sweet when you're comfortable, when you can be able to pay for the things you desire right now. As it stands, you desire so many things, but you can't afford. A lot of us have bent our backs to use things we can't afford, and it's killing us. You know, we've bought expensive phones, we're renting expensive houses, we try to live expensive lives that we cannot afford. If you find yourself eating bread a day, continue eating it. And even sometimes when you make a little money, go back to eating it a day, you know, until you know that if you buy chicken, sorry that we live in a country where I have to use bread and chicken. You know, this is basic, but I'm sorry. This is us. You understand? Also, always search around your environs and work within that. But try and think outside the box. It's not bad for you to think big. Don't let anybody make you feel like you can't think big. Think big, but start small. It's not bad for you to think big. You can, if you want to start a transport company, but you have to make friends with taxi drivers to understand how they think, that is starting small. Have conversations with them, know how much they make a day. If you want to start hairdressing and whatever, go to the salons, gossip a little bit, because it will take you that to get the things you want from them. And I leave you with that anything you put your mind to, you will be able to make it. For me, if I sing and you're dancing and you think that is a lifestyle, that is me making money off you. So learn to make money, because I will continually make money. You know, so far as you keep labeling what I do as fun and exciting, and then you don't see what you do to bring you money as fun and exciting.
All right. Thank you very much, Drake. Say.
I'm here. So the last thing that I would love to leave an impression in your mind is to try to unlearn some of the things that you've been taught, the old ways, of how things should be done, and expand your mind. There's resources out there to help you to better yourself, not just in a career, professional, entrepreneurship way, but also in your personal life. It starts with you. You have to align yourself where you trust yourself with every decision that you make, and you trust your intuition, and you have faith in yourself. If you don't have that, you're really starting off on the wrong foot. Strive to look for knowledge, and seek that knowledge out, whether it's for your personal life to grow. I think all of us, we're all human, and the one common thing that we all are looking for is growth. How can we grow in our personal life, and how can we grow as far as starting new ventures? The young guy that was with the, back there, what I wanted to share with you was that I understand your plight, what you've gone through. I've gone through similar situations. And in fact, that was one of the things that actually sparked me to go into business. Sometimes you can find yourself in a situation that you may not feel that is ideal, or that's your purpose or your passion, or that you're genuinely happy with. You could have a manager that's, this may not be the perfect dynamic for you, but there's always a lesson in everything that you encounter in life. So there's a lesson that's to be learned from there. And for my situation, I learned what my lesson is, okay, if I found myself in this director position, or if I owned a company, I knew exactly how I would treat my employees. There's things that you can take from it. So instead of looking at it from a negative perspective or from a place of anger, open yourself up and analyze and look at the situation. How can I become a better version of this? What things would I do to create or to make things better if I were to run and operate this company? You take those things and those tools, and those are the things that you use to grow and to plant your seeds to be a better version. You can't, there's pretty much, there's unlimited possibilities. So just because your friend or someone owns a beauty salon, or they're doing the same thing, you can be in the same industries and have totally different purposes, totally different passions. So don't let the idea of, because it's already been done before, that I can't do it. You can do it, but in your own way.
Ralph.
Yep. I think they've said it all. Asa. But I would sort of amplify something that Trick said concerning starting small. Sometimes, like our brother said, that he needs to get some money first before he even thinks about the idea. No. I see a lot of young ones starting businesses, and the first thing they think about is a shop, an office. I want to buy a container and put it at this corner. How much is a container? Do you know how much it costs? Very expensive. And these are the things that people think about first. The office space. Sometimes you don't need it. You have a place you stay. You sleep in a house, right? Why don't you start a business from home? Start with maybe one welding machine or mobile one. Go around fixing people's iron gates, steel gates. It will surprise you, people who need people to come around and do some of these fixtures. Do you get it? So start small. And don't always think that somebody somewhere is going to bring you money. Some of us, even me now, I still, my business, I still run it from my house. I don't have an office. You can ask anybody who knows Art Focus or Nasika. We can afford to put an office here at the mall. Kwame Legend has been pushing us so many times, but we always say no. Because why would I spend that much when that money can be reinvested back into the business or to do something else. So sometimes we spend money for unnecessary things that we don't need just to impress people and feel like you're also, like what Chelsea said, CEO. And what happens? Thank you.
Hello? Why dialogue? Why dialogues? All right. We have a visitor all the way from South Africa. And of course, I can't just let her come sit here pretty and then go just like that without us hearing from her. She's listened to everything that our panel members had to say. So I'd love to hear from Angel. Please give the microphone to Angel. Angel, just a minute. Please put your hands together for her.
Hi, thank you, Chelsea. And, being here, I'm in business myself, and it's not easy. It's not easy. And I think from what one of the guys asked is, how do you start if you don't even have anything, right? I was working for a bank as well. And I was working for a bank so that I can firstly learn customer service, because that's the best place to learn about customer service. You can't be in a business and not know how to deal with your customers, right? And from that, I've saved money to start my business. I'm into cleaning services and detergent supply. So what I do through my business is I employ young people to start their own business through my business. So when I employ you, I teach you business and I help you to start your own. That's how I think, the government is not helping much with creating jobs, and the youth unemployment keeps rising. It's up to us to make a change, to help each other. So sitting here, I hope everyone that is here has been listening to everything that everyone said, because these are the things that I applied in my businesses, and I'm still learning, and I learned a lot as well. So I'm really glad that I came here, and you've been an amazing host. Thank you.
Okay, so anytime we meet, I love to introduce my team. A team I'm always proud of. So when I mention their names, we give them a round of applause, okay? You've heard them on radio, you've seen them, well, not really, on posters, yes. And then you've listened to them every now and then. But it's now time for you to see them in person, okay? So I have DJ Editor. He's the DJ for The Drive. And I have, yes, that is his partner in crime, PM. aka Blackla. And also next to PM is our beautiful administrator, the beautiful Joycelyn. Customer service unmatched. And I have, I have Ernest. He likes to hide himself. But if he will be successful or not, it's dependent on him. He can wake up one day and go like, today, we all know work. I have the one in charge of social media. He's in the person of Mo Ajiman. And I have Nime. We have a segment called Tech on Y. He's the host of that segment. I equally have TJ DJ, the unstoppable, award-winning TJ DJ. Yes, he's the king of the night. From 7 to 10 p.m. every weekday and during the weekends. And who else? Okay. Oh, I have James, yes, aka Marv on Air. And I saw Ram, but I don't know where Ram is. Okay, so we have a new kid on the block, sort of. You'll be hearing from him pretty shortly. Okan brofa no fansene, or mixers and more beautiful. Yeah, breaking news. So PK, aka PK the Kingsman. Watch out for him, mid-morning radio show. And a boss I'm always proud of, Ajekum Jima. We fight a lot, but we get things to happen. Please, who else haven't I mentioned? Oh, everybody. Okay, some of them are outside. Where's McCall? McCall is not here. Yeah, just outside here. Oh, okay. So there are other things that are ongoing. So, and our station is just here at the mall. If you haven't been there, we are giving you the opportunity. Just pass through, okay? We are there because of you. You listen to us. It's very important that you get to also know the people who speak to you every morning. And I have my adorable team, a project I started, and I'm so proud of. It's called the Boss Up 100, where we give people skills. So if you know any young lady who is into plumbing, anything at all, okay, we give them the tuition for free. Currently, we have our first 20 ladies, and they're taking a fashion designing course, and some of them are here. Please, can I see my Boss Up ladies? Boss Up 100. Boss Up 100. That is exactly what I preach. So, my name is Chelsea Say. You can call me the boss. I am the host of Rise and Shine every morning from 6 to 9 a.m. A show I'm always proud of. I do it together with DJ Gunshot and then McCall Mansa. Every day, listen to us. Yes, whether it makes sense or not, I know you enjoy it. On that note, anything to be said? Acknowledge our sponsors for the last time. Can I do that? Okay. Thank you to Chambers Market. Thank you to IT Guardian. Thank you to Sadaka Rentals. Thank you, Gibson Safety Consults, and then Bra Coleman. Yeah, Bra Coleman, please give us a wave. Give us a wave. And I want to say thank you. So give yourself a round of applause for sitting throughout the program. Indeed, YDialogue first episode or first edition has been very successful. I have been touched. Now I know what to do to stand out as an entrepreneur or as a youth. Always remember that you are your own boss. You have to be responsible for every action that you take. My name is Chelsea Say once again, and we are done. Hello? Okay, please come up for some pictures. And when you go out, we have a special stand for Nasika. It is a digitized micro bank, okay? That helps you to manage your money on the go. The WhatsApp number is 0245 05 441. 0245 05 4441. 441. You can chat it anytime, and then you can save at your own convenience.